Hi everyone! In today's video, I'd like to show you how to use Midjourney to get the best results in web design. Let's get started. So I have this idea that I want to create a website for a yoga trainer, a yoga studio, something like this, but with a bit more personal touch. So I want to have this focus on this one person that I named as Samantha Green as the lead trainer in this yoga studio. I want this website to be about her approach to yoga. I want to create this website with the use of AI tools, specifically with Midjourney. All the images that I'm gonna use in this project are gonna be generated by Midjourney. But first things first, I'm gonna ask Midjourney to help me to come up with a website layout for this project. By the way, in the course of this video, I will show you lots of images generated by Midjourney, and at the bottom of the screen, you will always find the exact prompt that I typed in to get those results, so that it will be easier for you to generate similar images by yourself. Let's get back to the video. So the first 4 images that I got were a bit disappointing, I guess. I wouldn't say that this website is very modern. I wouldn't say that it looks good. I wouldn't definitely say that Midjourney knows how the hand looks like, but this is just the beginning. I just, kept working on the prompt and hopefully get better results. And it worked. I changed the prompt by specifying that I want the landscape image in the background, and those propositions are much better. So as I was going through all those images, I got this clear idea how I wanted my website to look like. So to make it easier for you to get on the same page as me, here you've got outline that I created for this project. I will start with this big hero section with a landscape image in neutral color palette, very warm, earthy, making you feel great because of the beautiful warm sun and all that stuff. We will have also the very simple navigation with the logo in the middle and the menu bar on both of its sides. Another section will be about me section, and here I want the image of the trainer. I want it to look very inviting, but still in the same feeling as the image in the hero section. So in my head, basically, the image that I will get for the hero section will kind of decide what will be the direction of other images that I will generate for this project. So I want it all to be very neutral, but also very warm in its tones, very calm and inviting. After the About Me section, we'll get the classes and services offered by this yoga studio. I think I want to include just the 3 types of the classes and need images to illustrate them. Another section will be about the yoga camp retreat that this yoga studio will offer. I wanted to, get the description of the upcoming camp, but I also needed 2 images that will illustrate the previous editions of this retreat. And those images were supposed to be generated by Midjourney. Another section will be for an online store that this yoga studio also has. And I think I want to display 3 product categories here, and it will be yoga mats, water bottles, and aromatherapy products. It all will be generated by AI. And the last section, besides footer, will be an invitation to join the newsletter. And here I will close it all off with, once again, a picture of this yoga trainer, preferably in a yoga pose, but we will see what we will get. So this is the website outline that I came up with, and now let's get into WebWave website builder, where I will recreate this project using Midjourney images. As I said before, I will create this website in WebWave. I started my project from a blank page, and because of the website outline that I created before, the first thing that I needed for my design was the hero section image. So naturally, I turned to Midjourney to generate something suitable. Here you can see my first attempt. I imagined this image to be a beach at the sunrise, and that is what I included in my prompt. Midjourney delivered 4 rather good-looking images, with the ones on the bottom catching my eye especially. I upscaled those images and created more variants, and was just about to pick this one. But then I remembered that the website that I used for inspiration for this project had green color scheme. So I decided to try to generate something leaning more towards this aesthetic. I used Tuscany as a reference for my next prompt, and the results were more than I could have imagined. I immediately fell in love with the design and picked the bottom right as my hero section. And then I got back to WebWave and started working on my website. As I positioned the image, I decided to use it as an inspiration for a color palette for this website. I prepared the list of colors I picked from it and then added them to the global color palette for my website. It takes just a few minutes but makes the whole process of designing a website much easier. Once I finished, I was ready to go back to my hero section. As you remember, in the middle of the navigation, I planned to have a logo for this yoga studio. I used Midjourney as well to create it. I liked the options suggested in the first draft and eventually picked this one. Now you can see me finding the right place and size for it, as well as deciding its after-click action. I wanted to link to the homepage. After that, I started working on the navigation. I wanted it to be rather minimalistic, and that's why I kept changing the underline's thickness. Now I just copied the menu that I created on the left and set the right content. I also added a My Cart button to make the online store functional. Once I was done, I made sure that my layers panel isn't a mess and added the navigation to the website layout so that it will be displayed on every page. And this is the final version of the navigation bar with the logo in the middle and an online store cart. Now it's time for some text. I decided to go with this inviting headline. I also decided to animate the text. It's an animation on show, reveal type, is in and out. And that's the hero section. Now it's time to tell a bit about our yoga instructor. For this section, I needed one image depicting the yoga instructor. Let's see the results. I continued with the motif of the sunset and the beach, and Midjourney continued with the motif of weird hands. But I'm not gonna be a hater, creating an image of a woman holding in yoga pose is a challenge. The top row looks a bit like a horror movie, but the bottom one is promising. I created more variants of those images and actually really liked this set. I checked which one had the most correct hands and picked the winner. Jokes aside, I think it looks really good, realistic, and is what I was looking for. I quickly moved back to WebWave and started working on this section. The image got the lead role as planned. You can see me making myself more space on the canvas by putting at the bottom a rectangle that later I will delete. Now I'm resizing the image and positioning it the way I want it. I also added some text describing Samantha. It looks really well on the serene background from the picture. And now it's time for the call to action button. I really like how it turned out. I think this color looks great here. I also decided to add some ornaments to make it look more visually pleasing and interesting. All the designs were made by me in Canva. I animated them as well. And that's how it looks. Now let's do the classes section. Here I need to generate 3 images illustrating 3 different types of classes offered by this yoga studio. Let's see how it went. The first image is for Hatha yoga class and I didn't have to look for it for long. The top left from the first set seemed just right, so I upscaled it and decided to use it in my design. Now it was time for restorative yoga, where students will use various props. Here I really liked the top right image, especially because of the colors. They were warm and matched the overall color palette of the website. The third image was for a private session, and this time the results were a bit weird. As you can see, Midjourney's problems with physics were once again showing. However, the bottom left image was good enough for me to use it on the website. And let's not forget that I got those unique and perfect for my vision images in just a few minutes. So I'm not gonna complain. Now let me show you what I made with them. So as you can see, I'm placing all three images and adjusting their position on the website. Below each of them will be a brief description of the type of class and a call to action button to book a session. And here once again, I decided to add some animated decorative elements that I made in Canva based on the creative direction of Midjourney images. And that's how this section looks. Another section was for yoga camp that this studio organizes. For this part of the website, I needed 2 images illustrating previous editions of this retreat. I wanted them to feature groups of people during yoga practice, surrounded by a natural, peaceful environment. Let's see the results. I really liked the first set, especially the images at the bottom. I created more variants of those 2 and eventually picked one per each for this section. But to be completely honest with you, I think every image had the potential to be selected. They were just like I wanted them to be and left me really impressed. Once I generated all the images, I started working on the description of this retreat. I sped this whole process up because at some point, placing the text became a bit repetitive. Once I finished with the text, I moved to the image gallery. I deleted default pictures and added those from Midjourney. To make it all look cohesive, I also added some abstract shapes and animated them. And that's the final look. Moving on to the online store section. Here I need 3 product images. Let's look at Midjourney's propositions. So I started with yoga mats and the first set was quite good, but I decided to generate another one, something more matched with the rest of the website's aesthetic. I modified the prompt by specifying that I want to have houseplants in the background. As you can see, it definitely made a difference. Now I got modern product photography. Eventually, I picked this image because I feel it complemented the overall color scheme of the website best. Now it was time for the water bottles. This time I didn't see the need to change prompts and generate more images. I immediately liked this one. And the last product category was aromatherapy. Here's what Midjourney came up with. To be honest, I really liked all the images and had a hard time picking the one. But once again, I decided to figure out which one will complement the rest of the website best. And that's how I chose this one. Now, you guessed it, let's get back to WebWave and start building. I started with the headline and then moved on to the images. I quickly got the layout I was going for and moved on to the buttons. This time I decided to give them a bit different look than in the previous sections. To finish it off, I added the same styling elements as in previous sections. And just like that, the online store section was done. Now let's work on the last section of this website, an invitation to sign up for the newsletter. When I was planning the website outline, I made the decision that this section will be similar to the About Me part of the website. The main focus will be on the image of our yoga instructor. I imagined her to be in a yoga pose, to use it kind of like a framing device for this project. And with this idea in my mind, I generated the first set of images in Midjourney. Unfortunately, I was severely disappointed with the result, but I could only be angry with myself since I forgot to add version 5 at the end of the prompt, and those images were generated by version 4 by default. As you can see, a new version of Midjourney makes a huge difference. Results are much better and more realistic. I created variants of one of the images, but this time I specified that I want version 5 of Midjourney to make it. It looked better, but still feels like a huge setback from what I managed to generate previously. It not only looks unrealistic style-wise, but also a tree is hanging in the sky in one of the images. What is that? I went back to the prompt I used to generate the first image of the trainer for some inspiration. But eventually I figured out that maybe I don't even need to generate more images and I can use the one that I previously rejected. It's very realistic for Samantha to have one professional photo shoot for her website and that all the pictures on this website will be from the same settings. My mind was set and I got back to working on the website. I quickly positioned the image and all the text elements, as well as the button. Everything was once again decorated with the same designs. Off camera, I also did the footer, and now you can see the final version of the website. All images were generated by Midjourney and then put together in WebWave website builder. And that's it for today. If you're interested in the topic, you can watch our previous videos about AI tools in web design. You will find the links in the description and floating somewhere on the screen. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!